Mooney from Drawing With Us here with another cartooning session for you coming from Mooney Valley Libraries. Alright, let's get into it. Today I'd like to talk about posing. Basically, making your characters do different action poses, things like that. So to start off, we are going to think about drawing a dummy. So we've got our character's head, and we've got our character's body, and we've got our character's arms, and our character's legs. Now we want to think about what parts of the body bend and which direction they face. You'll see a lot of artists draw this plus on their character's face when they create their dummies. That's because using this plus sign, you can make your character look in different directions, like over here and over there, and up here like this. And once you've figured out which direction you want your character to look, you just put your features on those lines. So this can be a very helpful thing for you to pose your characters, and some people will put these lines on their character's body as well, so you can do the same thing. So to start off, have a go with that. It's just head, body, arms, legs, and start moving these around to different positions. See what you can make your character do. Body, arms, legs, and this is a basic. Moving your arms one way, moving your legs the other way. See what happens. Just have a play. Now, you don't have to worry too much at this point, but try not to use stick figures. Because the issue with stick figures is, as you can see, there's no space between the shoulders. So there's no real difference over here from a stick figure doing this. As you can see, you can't see that it's with these two here. You can't see which arm is going left and which arm is down. We can't see which leg is going left and which leg's going the other way. So try not to use stick figures. Try and use at least blob figures. And they don't have to be amazingly well drawn, but you want these figures to be able to do stuff. There we go. And of course you can use the plus. So in this one, my character can be facing one way, but if I decided to, I can turn the head and have them face the other way. You can make them face slightly upwards or slightly downwards, all sorts of things. And that's a start to our character's posing. Now, if you want to get even more out of your posing dummy, you can add more parts to it. So for example, a lot of people obviously will add a neck to their posing dummy, and they'll separate out their main body into a couple of sections. Some people use 2 sections like this, and some people use more, but let's go with 2. So we've got 2 sections for our main body, and then we're going to have 2 sections for our arms and our legs. So as you can see, my arms are split into 2 parts and my legs are split into 2 parts. So this gives me a little bit more posability. It allows me to do things like bend my body one way, like this. There we go. And allows me to do little bit more interesting poses. Like that. A running pose over here. What else could I do? I could do something like this. Lying down. As you can see, this just gives me a few more ideas to play around with. And of course, if you wanted to add more to this posing dummy, you could even do that. So, on top of what I've already got, I might add even more detail to my posing dummy. So for example, I could have a posing dummy with neck and upper body and hips over here, and over here that's where my character's waist is. Now here I'm going to introduce ball joints. So basically it's imagining part of your body as a ball. Now I'm going to put this giant ball over here for my waist. You don't have to do it exactly that way, but a lot of people find that this way is pretty easy. And then I'm going to put 2 ball joints over here, 2 ball joints over here. And as you can see, those are my shoulders. And basically the hips for my legs. Just pull this up a little bit. As you can see, this gives you a little bit more control over your character's body. The use of these ball joints means when you've got something like a shoulder, you can rotate the shoulder using the ball. And it makes it a lot easier to make your character rotate their shoulder up or have their shoulder come down over here like this. Or move in other directions. Out to the side like that. And over to the other side of the body. So there we go. Then now I can draw the rest of it. Again, I've got this ball joint on the other side. And I can move my body just a little bit using this ball joint over here. Have my hips over here, and as you can see, got this ball joint over here. How about I do something like this? Lift this leg up over here, like that, and have the other leg go like that. As you can see, it looks like my character is doing some funny dance move. So when you're posing your character, start off with a dummy, and then start posing. You'll notice I haven't added the arms and you'll notice I haven't added the hands and feet yet. Well, you can do that if you want. For the feet, an easy way to think of them is, again, have a ball joint. And there are a couple of different ways to draw feet. Some people draw a triangle like this. that works. Or another way of thinking of it is you can draw one ball for your heel and one ball for the front of your foot, which would be where your toes are. As you can see here, that gives you a little bit more control over how your feet move. Hands. Some people like to draw just a ball for the hands and then a small ball for the muscle for your thumb. As you can see, once I've got that start, it's kind of easy to just add the fingers. Like, hey! So I've got my character doing funny dancer right there. So as you can see, there's a lot you can play around with when you're posing your character. And it all depends on this rig or dummy that you start off with. And the good thing about drawing your character dummy like this is you can check your character proportions before you draw all the details on your character. So this dummy allows you to see, ooh, how long are my arms? Does my character have gorilla arms? Like that. And very stubby body and really short legs, like that. Yeah, does my character have gorilla arms? Or does my character have super long legs? Like supermodel legs. Like, ooh, all the way over here. So you can check your proportions with your dummy before you actually commit to drawing all sorts of details on your character. Alright, now a little bit more onto what kind of poses you would like to do. When you pose, think about what shapes your character is making. Is your character making round shapes? Is your character making square shapes? Is your character making these sharp edges? And are they making very blocky lines? Or sorry, are they making very angular lines? Or are they making smooth lines? This will greatly affect how graceful your character looks or how powerful your character looks. So as an example, you can have your character, and I'm going to just draw the dummy, and they might be running. So over here I've got my character running. And notice the angles. Everything is making these very harsh angles with this character. So they're running, but they look kind of stiff. If you wanted your character to be a little bit graceful, you can change those angles so that they're a little bit more smooth. So as you can see over here, so I don't have those as much square shapes for this character, and that can mean that my character looks a little bit less stiff when they run. As you can see, the first run over here looks really stiff. The second one looks a little bit more relaxed. And then if I wanted to make my character run really fast, what I can do is I can triangle everything a little bit more. So over here, just make these angles a little bit more extreme, like this. So there we go. So the shapes and the angles that you use will greatly affect how your character does something. So it's not just, oh, is my character running, or is my character walking, or is my character sitting down? It's, okay, how are they running? How are they sitting down? Is my character a really tough character? Do I want to use a lot of these blocky shapes to make them do poses that look really strong, like this? Or is my character a little bit more graceful? Is my character more likely to do a pose where they stand like this with their arms a little bit together? Are they striking a pose like this? Are their feet together? Like that. So have a think. Do you want your character to have a graceful pose, or do you want your character to have a strong pose? And the stronger your pose, the more blocky shapes you want to use. So even something like sitting down, you can have a character sitting down like this, man spreading. Yeah, as you can see, this character looks like they are sitting down on a couch. Over here like that. Or you can have your character, sitting a little bit more demurely. Maybe holding a saucer and holding a cup of tea. And they might have their legs together when they are sitting, rather than spread out like that. So always think about how graceful your character is when they are doing something, or how tough or how strong they are doing something. Now, there are also a bunch of poses that you can do which tend to make your character look more boyish or more girly. In general, boyish poses are poses which make your shoulders look wide. So anything where you spread your arms out to the sides will tend to make your character look more macho in general. So you want to make your shoulders look nice and wide. Now, on the other hand, poses where your shoulders are brought together like this will tend to make your character look a little bit more girly. So for boys, you want to have your shoulders out, and for girls, you want to have your shoulders in a little bit more. Now, with your hips, it's the opposite. For guys, we want our hips to be a little bit more narrow, and an easy way to do this is to pose your character with their legs a little bit further, with their knees a little bit further apart. As you can see, that's really macho. Now, on the other hand, because girls tend to have slightly wider hips, if you pose your character with your knees closer together, you will naturally get a more girly pose. So I'll just do a little bit of an exaggerated example over here when you have your knees together like this and you put your arms down by your side like this. As you can see, you've got one of those girly pop star poses. Give her a microphone. And you can clearly see the difference between the more boyish pose and the more girly pose. And you can use this in a variety of actions. So, for example, you can open a door, and there'll be a more macho way of opening a door, where you go open the door like this. As you can see, it's all a little bit stiff. I've got like my harsh angles over here, shoulders wide, my character opening a door. Oh, I can't draw doors! There you go. So, still can't draw doors, so that doesn't matter. So coming through a door frame like that. Now, on the other hand, I could do it a little bit more subtle. That hand doesn't have to be all the way out there like this. It can be like, a little bit more like that. My legs don't have to have so much strength in them. They can be a little bit more relaxed. This arm doesn't have to be out there like that to counterbalance as much. So can bring the arm a little bit closer to the body. There like this. Legs don't have to be that far apart. They can be a little bit closer together. There. As you can see, this person is now a little bit more relaxed when they're opening the door. There we go. All right, just a few more poses before we finish up. I'll just play around. You can make your character do things like martial arts. Here. Or you can make your character do dances like in ballet. Hips over here. Standing on her tippy toes. Or you can make your character do a whole host of whatever you can think of. So for example, dragging something. Ugh. Oh, could be something heavy like luggage. Like that. Although it looks like he's about to swing that luggage bag at something. Or pushing something. So there's plenty to play around with for posing your characters. Have a try of doing your own poses. And see what you can come up with. Alright, that's a wrap for today. You've been with Moonee Valley Libraries, and this has been Kenny from Drawing with Us.